Alrighty, the next storyline quest is Preservation, Their Purpose, given to us by Wuk Lamat in the government sector? Resolution? It says Solution 9, Government Sector, Resolution. So, anywho, level 100, obviously, still in Dawn Trail, patch 7.3. Here we go. Cutscene. Tuliola will gladly welcome every last Alexandrian with open arms. But what of the nation the late queen was so desperate to preserve? What of that bright haven of peace and laughter? Wuk Lamat, says Sphene. I won't stand here and let her legacy be sullied any further. I will protect Alexandria. That was the promise I made her at the last. But she betrayed you, did she not? Why do you feel this obligation? I saw myself in her, I suppose. We both felt the people's joy as our own, yet alone we lacked the strength to protect them. There is so much that I love in this world, too much for me to take in my arms and keep safe, and that made me afraid. I needed someone who shared that love and fear, so together we could do what we couldn't by ourselves. Or maybe it's simpler than that. Maybe I just wish that we could have been friends. This catches our Sphene off guard a little bit, but she's okay. So when she turned to me in her final hour, desperate to safeguard Alexandria's future, I swore that I would see it done. In the end, I think you both found the friend you needed. I would be yours as well, Sphene. Whenever you fall or struggle to rise, I'll come running to the rescue, and you do the same for me. That's how we'll protect the things we love. That's how we'll protect Alexandria. You're right. You're right. My options are, and don't forget about me. I don't know why I would ever fucking say that. Or ... I'm just gonna do ... I'm gonna say nothing. Just admire the moment. Right, we got a bit sidetracked there. We should probably be on our way. Do we patrol or see if Shale needs a hand? There you all are, says Gululja, coming up with Shale and Kryle. Gululja! Ah, splendid. We were afraid we'd miss you. Alice and the others said you were here, says Kryle. Good news, Mercy. We finally found a chink in Calix's armor, says Shale. We discovered laboratories on Everkeep's 10th level that once housed the Preservation Initiative. Containment Complex 10-29 it's called, and it's been falsely registered as a distribution center. In reality, it hasn't recorded any traffic in decades. We don't think this is where Calix is hiding as such, but it may well contain clues that will point us in the right direction, says Kryle. I'm sorry it took so long just to get this far. If you're interested, what do you say we all go and check it out together? Shale again. Wuk Lamat gives a pumped gesture. Sphene says, thank you for all your hard work. This is a huge step forward. And up! We need to take the lift to get to the complex, says Gulul. I've cleared this expedition with the relevant authorities and have one of our people waiting to operate said lift. Let's not keep her waiting, said Shale. Got a letter back from the IRS. Been in a back and forth with them since 2020, early 2024, about my 2023 taxes. So yeah, it's been a while. At some point, they thought I owed like $800 and something. I thought they owed me like $128. Turns out there is yet another form I didn't know about, because when you look online for like if you're an Uber Eats driver, what form you have to fill out, it says the Schedule C. It does not mention anything else. The Schedule C included like the Schedule 1, there was a Schedule 3 thrown in, I think, for the premium tax credit because I had to go through the marketplace to get my health insurance. And apparently there's also a Schedule 2, which requires a Schedule SE that I didn't know about. And at some point in time, it's like, okay, your taxable income, I guess. Well, no, it doesn't. It's just so weird. But I had to ask Rock about it, and I think it turns out that I really owed something for my 2023 taxes, and I don't know. I put the letter in the mailbox, and we'll see when they finally get it and open it and process it what ends up happening. It feels like I pay so much, and like my car depreciates so much, and I pay for gas like a full tank of gas every other day, and oil changes every other month, and new tires twice a year, and just somebody yesterday at a restaurant I've never been to before, like this little hole in the wall place that it's just one guy in this like small triangle of space making coffee and other shit. He's like, I think Uber Eats is a scam for the drivers. And I was like, well, scam is a really big word, and I'm not sure that I agree fully with that, but it certainly is not great. And now I'm thinking, no. But no, at the end of the year, if I pay about $3.80 a month for gas, and I make about $3,800, and I just, if I'm generally gonna owe around the 400s in taxes because of Social Security and Medicare and just taxes in general. But I don't have any W-2 jobs this year until I start as an electrician, hopefully in September. So I will not have actually paid any taxes out of my, paychecks and stuff, because I don't have any paychecks and stuff. So my tax is possibly going to be in like the thousands this year, and I'm worried about that for sure. I just paid $2,700 to repair shit on my vehicle. Sorry, anyway, lift attendant. Ready to head up. Next stop, the 10th level. 10-29, here we come. Cutscene. Shale walks ahead of us through a rectangular door, as most doors are, but an open doorway, I suppose. We see a bunch of desks and chairs and a screen. Kind of like a control room, maybe. And we see some of the closed doors.
So this is one of Preservation's laboratories,
says Sphene.
It's so dark I can barely see.
Shale notices a console. Are these desks, they could be where people have laptops and are working across from each other like this.
Just a moment. If I can reroute the power to the circuit.
4 chairs per rectangular desk, and they all kind of have like these little futuristic like lights, like purple dot lights running up the back, and yeah. She's at a console, and things start to light up, including
You got the lights working!
The overhead lights.
Smell how stale the air is. This room hasn't been in use for many years.
It was thanks to Kryl and Galulja that we managed to locate this place,
says Shale.
You may remember that my earring contained the control code for the gate to the Golden City. As it was Preservation that constructed the portal, we reasoned that the code to operate it might include a signature of some sort, unique to their organization.
So I took a closer look, and a line-by-line examination yielded a string of symbols identifying the code's author. We then began accessing the nodes for every door in Everkeep, seeking out control codes which contained those same symbols. After a grueling search, we finally discovered our prize behind door number 1860, the entrance to the facility in which we now stand. I'd probably still be at it if Galulja hadn't been around to assist me.
I took breaks, but Shale never stopped working. Not even once.
You okay, bud? My options are, you're a treasure, Shale, which is fully correct. Or sounds like you need one of Janolt's energy tunnels. You're a treasure, Shale.
I can contribute precious little else, I'm afraid, but I appreciate your kind words.
You can
In any
create
case,
time,
this next part will require your helping hands.
she says to Sphene.
We need to spread out
Never mind.
and search for something that may lead us to Calyx.
She said to all of us, apparently.
We're more than happy to help, of course. But I wonder, won't he realize we've found this place?
It's highly likely, and personally I hope he does.
You all know our main objective. We're here to pick up Calyx's trail, says Shale. And I've learned of a certain device that should help us do just that. I'll explain how we proceed, but according to the information I was able to dredge up, the device in question should have been installed in the director's office. She walks to the largest screen in the room. Now, as for where that might be, yes, this map matches my data. This room we're in is the Researchers' Commons, located in the western side of the complex. The director's office is to the northeast of here. So we should cut across this circular chamber. Chamber in the middle, yes? Says Sphene. Yes, we should, but unfortunately for us, the interior door's locked. We'll need a security key with the appropriate clearance to open it. Judging by the mechanism, it'll probably be a card of some sort. Can't you, work some electro magic? I'll try my best, but this type of lock is well before my time, sorry. It may take a while to crack it. And in case I can't, you might want to look around and see if anyone left a security card behind. Considering the state of the place, it does seem like they abandoned it in some haste. I shouldn't be surprised if we found one, says Krile. Very well, let's get to searching, shall we? Pats chest. Wuk Lamat gives a fist in palm. I expect we'll have the most luck looking where the researchers kept their personal belongings. Close cooperation will be necessary to overcome the obstacles barring your path forward. Helpful hints will appear in a different color. Pay close attention to the information provided by your comrades, should you find yourself unable to proceed. Okay, interesting. This feels new. I said personal belongings. Abandoned paperwork doesn't. I'm just gonna click on everything. Abandoned paperwork. A few documents in an untidy stack atop the desk. No security card. Notice board. Interacting. A few indecipherable notes remain pinned to this notice board, but nothing that resembles a security card. Desk organizer was kind of where I felt like going first because it's personal belongings. A small shelving unit holds some office supplies and little else of note. Okay, I would have been wrong. Half-open desk drawers. Appears to be the only desk with the drawers already open. You can tell at a glance that the desk's former owner has left some things behind. Rifle through. Yes, I will. You discover a card-shaped object. The electrode surface is marked with a bold level 1. Oh, could that be what we're looking for? Try it on the door and see if it opens, says Krile. I go over to the scanning device next to where Shale's working her magic. Card-shaped object used. You hold the card-shaped object to the scanner. It looks like we have a cutscene. Everybody gathers around, the door opens. It's open! You did it, Mercy! Says Galulja. And a good thing, too. I was getting nowhere with that outdated circuit, says Shale. I'm curious, though, why would they abandon a facility like this? It was run by Director Demetrius, or so that terminal there told me. Perhaps there are more answers to be had once we venture further inside. Then let's continue onwards. The door to the director's office is across the central hub. Hopefully I'm making the voices distinct enough. It's hard. I'm doing Sphene without a British accent. Krile is slower and kind of more airy. And then Shale is more direct. In the middle, scanning device. Try the card again. Scanner beeps in disapproval. No good? Maybe we need a different card? Yes, the scanner is demanding a level 3 security clearance to open the lock. As much as the delay chafes me, we'll just have to comb through the nearby rooms and hope we stumble upon the card we need. Let's start a search in the proto lab. That door is already open, at least. We will find a way through We will find a way through together, Shale. I'm sure of it. Okay. They all disappear. They're ghosts now. We run to the northwest through a corridor that turns a bit towards straight north. We talk to Sphene to continue. The way this room is set up, the canister inserted into that large device looks to be a soul cell. Could this be where they conducted their experiments to create Endless? But we could probably spend days investigating this complex. Finding a way into the director's office must take precedence. Speaking of which, Galulja mentioned a locker over in the corner that he couldn't open. Perhaps you could take a look? Sure. Wait, which corner? Wait, what? But I don't see Galulja, okay. There's a number pad. The correct combination will open the pad. Okay. I'm not gonna look it up. A data tablet. Today I began my employment at Preservation. The organization was unfamiliar to me, but when the recruitment letter arrived, I had a gut feeling that this work would be far more fulfilling than any orthodox medical practice. My instincts were correct. Master Calix's philosophy is the refined ideal of notions I've only ever vaguely entertained, that mankind must evolve beyond the shackles of its flesh and blood existence. I had a meeting with Director Demetrius today. I've heard others praise his genius intellect, yet he seems but a glittering candle in comparison to Master Calix's blinding brilliance. This morning I was permitted to access the top floor and observe the workings of living memory. As predicted, the shortage of ether required to sustain the Endless is reaching critical levels, yet Queen Sphene insists on continuing her ineffectual flailing. Our Malala colleagues, including the Proto-Lab chief, have been behaving in a decidedly suspicious manner of late. Should I report my concerns to the director? From tomorrow, I have been assigned to assist with a research project in the Deutero Lab. We are scheduled to conduct a major experiment, the details of which I have been kept ignorant. It would seem prudent to back up my memory data. That's the end. Here's Galulja. I dug through this data tablet and I found a journal. I'll read it to you. The results of experiment 158. Okay, just in case these make any purpose. So it's 158. Show a marked improvement in ether extraction rates. At last, we have achieved the target value set by Master Calix. Though I will become endless as per our ascendancy protocols, I will preserve this historic number along with my few remaining worldly effects. Preserve the number? Wanna try it? 158? We have a little cutscene, it looks like. I have to guess. Oh, that is 1. Okay. It is not. You know, why not? Right. Okay, we'll talk to Shale. Please excuse my impatience. The means to track down Calix are close, and I'm itching to get my hands on them. Okay. Wuk Lamat. These notes seem to be about the research they did in here. Let's take a look. Experiment 148. Submitting inference candidate 201930. Okay. Now we have 148. Yeah. And 201930. To be considered for efficiency procedure review. Experiment 158. Maximum value of... Oh, god damn it, really? Okay. Of 11509 recorded. Comparative study to be included in the report. Alright then. Oh, and one more. Experiment 163. New proposal produced a result of 9834. Decreased value verified. We have 163, 9834. Well, I have no idea what any of that means. Maybe it will make sense later on. How about Cryle? This machine feeds into a soul cell. I'm reminded of my imprisonment by the Empire. Surely this device wasn't made to hold people. Okay. Um. 201930. Okay. 11509. There you go. The locker pops open. Inside you discover a level 2 security card. Mercy, you got the locker open. And you found another security card. Oh, but does that say level 2? We needed a level 3, didn't we? Yes, but it should still open more doors for us to explore. You did well, Mercy, says Shale. I pat my chest. These preservation members led such surprisingly normal lives. Leaving notes, losing their cards. I guess I imagined they'd be more... what's the word? Bloodless? Mechanical? My parents were once part of preservation, if you'll recall, says Crow. It would seem the researchers who agreed with Calyx and his philosophy underwent the conversion to endless entities. But I assume those who could not, or would not, eventually left the organization altogether. Oh, I almost forgot. The researchers kept journals in their data tablets. The one I read doesn't explain much, but something big happened in the complex, and afterwards it was decided that everyone would become endless. The writer was really happy about this. You can tell how much they admired Calyx and his work. The entries ended after that, but maybe you can read more in the other tablet there. Already did. Right, let's move this investigation to another room. Well, we have the Deutero lab and the maintenance facilities left to search. Both are accessed via the southeast corridor. So it's back to the hub and the locker, the locked door across the way, which will hopefully yield before our new security card. I'll take the old one if you like. I doubt we'll have any more use for it. Okay, we do a swapperoo or whatever, and we're off. There's a lot of extra dialogue in there that annoying, but whatever. Or like, yeah, you're saying to me 3 different times we're doing this thing that I already know we're doing. Cool. Whatever. Sorry. I'm still annoyed about my taxes. Yeah. Hiding over the level 2 card. And the door opens. Yes, it opened. So, where should we go first? The Deutero lab or facilities? Let's start with the lab. Cool jaw. To continue. Shale, there doesn't seem to be any power here. No, none at all. It's possible the energy supply for this room is on a separate conduit, which means there should be a contingency for opening the door. Look here. There's a sign above the card scanner. In case of emergency, backup power can be rerouted from facilities. The facilities room is down the other branch of this corridor. Let's see about getting the power restored to the Deutero lab, shall we? Sure, dude. Let's go. Didn't expect this to be such a long quest, but... Shale to continue. Cutscene. I'm good, though. Like, I might only make one storyline video tonight. We'll see. Engaging power supply? No good. It's returning an error. There must be a preliminary procedure. According to this error code reference, if the power supply has been interrupted for an extended period of time, then we need to reconfigure both the emergency generator and the circuit control panels. Shale, that's the emergency generator over there, isn't it? like you got three. It's kind of like a black box, sorta, but all made of metal. Kind of like there's 4 really thick graphics cards just kind of next to each other, like big sides facing each other, so like the flat sides facing each other, and then it's like purple energy kind of conduits between them, so 3 energy conduits between the 4, like horizontally stacked, if that makes sense, graphics card kind of things. Yes, and by the looks of it, it's the same model as the one in Heritage Found. But how does it send power to the other lab? She's at a control panel. Oh, I see. The energy cable attached to the base of this terminal leads down the hall directly to the Deutero lab. Which means we need a way to connect the generator to that cable, says Sphene. What about these patterns on the floor? Could this be the circuit we need to reconfigure? I believe you have the right of it. It's a square floor with a rotate, like a diamond, so like a rotated square, a square, a circle, and a triangle, and each one of those 4 shapes has a cylinder in the middle, like a stool kind of looking cylinder, but just it's literally just a cylinder. You could, like a trash can. Anyway, using the control panels set into each of the tiles, we create an unbroken path for the power to flow. What I wouldn't give for an instruction manual, says Sphene. Indeed, if you could look around for any written procedures, I'll keep digging through the terminal's directories. Might I also ask someone to operate the generator? I can do it. I've used that type of machine before. Then would you be willing to try and reconfigure the circuit path, Mercy? Says Crow. The rest of us can help by supplying Mercy with whatever information might be found on the circuitry configuration. Okay. Alright, before doing that, it looks like one of those things that I've seen before, and I think we gotta get, like, it's kind of like Snake a little bit in a way. No, sorry, Pipe Dream, I think it's called. Old computer game, but I'm pretty sure we want to connect here over to here via these shapes. The shapes don't really matter so much, but turning them so that this one has 3 lines that come out of it, this one has 2, this one has 2, this one has 3. These 2 are already connected, which is not going to remain possible. So because this one only has 2 and this one has 3, I think these 2 are gonna be the most. But we're gonna talk to people just to like see what everybody says. That's what I do on this channel. So here's Sphene. I was able to glimpse part of a warning sign behind the containers. From what I could make out, it said, "Caution: circuit will not function with duplicate patterns." Duplicate. Okay. I suppose that means only one of each circuitry. What? That's in pink. Circuitry pattern? I suppose that means only one of each circuitry pattern can be set at the same time? So I can't use the squares? Both squares? Is that what you're saying? I don't know. Gulja. The generator doesn't seem to need any fancy settings. As long as it's running and the circuit is fixed, we should have a power supply ready to go. I'm sorry. I'll try to slow down. That's the fucking problem. Maybe, I don't know. Wuk Lamat. Mercy, take a look at this diagram. There's a note in the bottom left about backup power. Configure the 4 circuit control panels to provide an uninterrupted path. Yeah. It looks like the primary square. Oh wait, am I gonna be moving the shapes? That could happen. I'm not sure. But it looks like from the power source, there's a square connected to a circle, possibly connected to another square, and then to the panel. Like the triangle might not be in it. I'm not sure yet. These symbols must represent the room we're in. If that square in the top left is Shale's terminal, then the bottom right should be the generator that Gululja is working on. That is what I deduced. It's hard to make out the rest. Assuming there are four tile patterns. The bottom right is a square, and the top right is a circle. Is half a circle? That's something to get you started, at least. And we'll talk to Kral last. These appear to be data logs from a former age. My scholarly interest is piqued by a few of the labels, but none are relevant to the task at hand. I've also had no luck locating more security cards. We shall have to rely upon our backup power strategy, I'm afraid. Okay, cool. So, how does this work? You must arrange the 4 tile patterns in the correct positions, access the control panels, and yeah. Which pattern will I set? Square? Okay, the square does connect to the power supply. The northeast control panel was a circle. Okay, so what happens is you don't move these around, they just become. So like the diamond became a square. The whatever was over here became a circle. Is that a square, I think, maybe? There's no half circle, is there? Yeah, there's no half circle, so I don't know what that's about. That was just what they thought. I think this is a diamond. But we'll see. I don't think it's a triangle. It was a diamond. Cool. Right? Does that mean I make this one a triangle? Just to make sure there's nothing duplicate? Oh, cool. Oh, it gets power both ways. That's cool. So southeast was square, northeast circle, southwest diamond, northwest diamond, and southwest was triangle. That wasn't that bad. It was different than what I thought it was going to be. Cutscene. The power's flowing along some very visible, like, power lines, like they're glowing purple now, and like there's a flow to the glow. It worked, says Gululja. We did it, Mercy, says Sphene. I nod. The Deutero lab should now be fully powered. Well done, everyone, says Shale. If I may, Shale, could we access a certain data log before moving on? I was checking the storage shelves and one of the labels caught my eye. Preservation, the early days is the title. She hands Shale something. Of course, it'll only take a moment to bring up the contents. Cutscene goes black as she types it in. Ah, it looks to be a text-based account. I'll read it out. Preservation, an Alexandrian institute for technological development, was founded by Calix, an 11-year-old child prodigy. Sorry. Give me a second. A minute, sorry. I'm gonna have to put a couple spots in this video where I'm like, hey, skip ahead to blank if you don't want to blank, like when I talk about my taxes for far too long. But goddamn, self-employment tax is ridiculous. Especially, well, it's probably even worse, obviously, for somebody who's actually running a business, but as a courier, like, I work for Uber Eats. Like, there should be a better way for this. I don't know. I think Uber Eats avoids... Actually, you know what? I know Uber Eats is going... because I'm self-employed, they don't pay any taxes that would go to Social Security or Medicare. Like W-2 employers would. Actually, sorry, they don't even pay taxes that just go to general taxes, like federal. So... So that business model for them is doing pretty darn good, but for us doing the actual work, not so much. Oops. I don't think I read this part. Approval for establishing the organization came from Alexandria's involvement in the Storm Surge, with Calix's designs for new defensive solutions, funded in large part by the Treasury. As the conflict grew in intensity and casualties mounted, Calyx funneled preservation's resources towards the perfection of memory storage. Research into this field continued even after the storm surge came to an end, with Calyx eventually electing to preserve his own memories in a virtual domain. So this account is from before he embraced his endless existence, hundreds of years ago, says Crow. I met him only once before the storm surge began. I was attending my father, who was then the reigning king of Alexandria. Calyx could not have been more than 10 years of age and required constant treatment for his debilitating illness, yet still he published theories so highly regarded that even the royal family was aware of his achievements. Life should not be lost to the injustice of death. Even now I can hear the single-minded will behind his words. So it was that when war came to our kingdom, my father was quick to commit his unwavering support to this somber youth and his proposals for preservation. Several years later, the ensuing violence brought the death of both my parents. Overwhelmed as I was by my sudden succession to the throne, I suspect they spared me the reports on endless research and other less urgent matters. So you had no way of knowing what kind of person Calyx was changing into? Did he change? I wonder. Perhaps he has ever been the type to value ideals over compassion, and I failed to see it at the time. Or perhaps he did change, but is still driven by those same deeply held beliefs, that morality is cruel and unjust, and his role is to deliver mankind from this fate. Mortality makes one more sense, sorry. Mortality is cruel and unjust. Whatever the case may be, we cannot allow him to shape our future. Let's press on, shall we? Everybody agrees in their own ways. If I've done my job correctly, the door to the Deutero lab should be accessible now. I'll give everything a once-over just to be sure. Free your mind in the Deutero lab. I shall jog, okay. Shale, to complete the quest. Finally. The energy current seems stable enough. Still, you should let me handle this one. The security card, if you please. Oh, and a quick prayer that a shorted wire doesn't burn me from the inside out. Haha, haha, haha. And preservation, their purpose is complete. 2066 gil. Can I open this? Damn it, I can't open my Chocobo saddle. Let's see. I don't want to just take 500 gil. I'll take food and figure out what to do with it after that. But I think like never turning down tenacity food is a generally good idea. I'll end up being able to make this food in a few weeks probably, but we'll see. Anywho, sorry for the tax rant. Hopefully you skipped it if you wanted to, or you learned something about my plights and trials. I'll see you next time for whatever of mine you watch next. Hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye for now.